kind of want to switch gears just a little bit. I don't know if you guys have been seeing it all over line, but today was a huge day for social media.
Yeah.
The House voted overwhelmingly to approve a bill that would ban TikTok in the U.S. or they're trying to, if they don't ban it, force a sale. Because what they're trying to say is that U.S. lawmakers and intelligence officials worried that the Chinese government could use TikTok to access personal data from all of the hundreds of millions of users, and that it could even affect the presidential election. So, all these 100 over hundreds of millions of TikTok followers are losing their mind. A lot of people make money and make a living from TikTok. So, one, will this affect anybody on here? Two, I don't know if whoever has kids, if they've heard about it, are they going nuts about it? And what are your thoughts overall? Like, should we be banning? Because first is TikTok. What's next, right?
Right.
It's interesting to me that TikTok is the platform that they're targeting, because I think that all of these social media platforms kind of do the same things as far as like our personal information, and the fact that they're China based versus US based, to me is like, I get it, but I think that they should be exploring how our personal information is being used and accessed across the board. And this can be a launching pad for that. But as far as like TikTok, I know a lot of people that make a lot of money off of TikTok and how that would affect their revenue, their income streams. But, I feel like this is a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like this.
Go.
I'm sorry.
No, go.
I feel like this speaks to a lot of what we said last week with, the use of social media. We just were talking about this. You can have a social a profile on any platform and you do not own it. And so when that profile or app goes away, then what do you do? I think what I'm going to miss most, I mean, we can talk about, national security threats, things of that nature. I don't feel qualified to even speak to that. But what I can say is I vote that we go back to MySpace, because that was the only app that had any, culture that I appreciated. My question is if TikTok goes away, and, people's businesses, right? People who've become, TikTok has been such a springboard for so many new creators, for so many new influencers, just because of how people consume the content. And I think it's done a beautiful thing. I think the culture of TikTok is what will be hard to replicate on any other platform. I don't care what you say. Instagram Shorts, their algorithm is getting better. The culture is not the same, right? Mm-hmm. There's no other platform that I think exists that can kind of recreate what TikTok has been able to do. And so for me, I wonder, where are we going to go next? And for all of you creators out there, if you are not creating calls to action or figuring out a different way to connect with people, that audience very well could be gone for good. Now, there's still some things that have to happen, right? The bill needs to go to Senate. It's got to get to the Senate, it needs to get passed in the Senate. And Mr. Biden has to sign off on it in order for that ban to take place. And even still, I think that there's, like a 5-month cushion for something to happen. So you have time, but this is the whole entire point of this conversation, is that if you're not figuring out how to capitalize, you take your audience off that platform and capitalize it elsewhere, you're going to be in really big trouble.
Yeah, I don't think this is new news. I don't think any creator on TikTok was not already prepared for this possible outcome, right? So they've been transporting their following over to Instagram and YouTube.
Patty, folks are in denial though, girl. They have been in denial. They have been like, there's no way this is going to possibly happen. And overwhelmingly.
Did you stop?
Oh yeah, I'm just waiting. Yeah. I want you to finish, but I'm just saying. I just wanted to jump in for a second. I think that you heard it coming, but in your mind, it's like, there's no way this could possibly happen.
Yeah, I know that is true. I could see that in the commentary that they're made, that, the comments. However, I think we do need to talk about the fact that government stepping in to control an open platform where people are providing real-time information, I think is extremely dangerous. I am not for government control in our lives. I'm not for anything that stands in the way of the freedom of speech. And I think people need to be really, really cautious about how they're supporting this, because the people who are really in support of banning TikTok have an ulterior motive. And I think that that's hard to get into, because I don't know how much we can talk about even on a platform like YouTube, because information is censored everywhere, right? If I have a conversation in my closet about something, I'm walking downstairs and getting into my car and I have an ad on my phone about something I just talked about in my closet, right? So
Right.
we are being monitored and observed in every way possible. So yes, so I think TikTok, my first thought was I need to go figure out who I'm following on TikTok that I need to be following on Instagram, because I don't want to miss their content, because I like those people. I like following those cooks and I like what they're doing. And I don't want them to lose their income opportunities. Like every time I see a video from Jackie Aina, I double tap it 6 times. And
That's how I do your videos, Patty.
I'm not gonna.
Right.
So TikTok is addicting. TikTok is time consuming. TikTok is a problem. I don't want my girls on TikTok, but TikTok, it should not be banned. TikTok, you should not be able to force the sale of a company claiming that the Chinese government is taking information. Baby, the Chinese government has been infiltrating the United States for decades.
Forever.
Cash I've seen come in from the Chinese government through students that were planted in the United States and bought up so much, hundreds and millions of dollars in real estate. Baby, if you wanted to stop the Chinese government, you could have done that a long time ago. So that is not what this is about. That is not what this is about.
Right.
This is about controlling the narrative. And I'll remind you guys, I talked to my girlfriends about this because I'll never forget the hurtful response that I had from a lot of my close friends when Ferguson happened. I remember everyone saying, well, what did he do? What did he do? Right. And usually the response would be when you notice when someone does something wrong and the police will kill them or beat them up, the thought that a racist mind would have is, what did he do to deserve that? Right. Well, and we would be thinking, what could he have possibly done to have deserved that? Right. But someone would say, what did he do to deserve that? It wasn't until the self-reporting, the free self-reporting that took place on Twitter that then got censored, that opened up the eyes of so many people and created a brand new narrative and so many different outcomes in the legal system, just in crimes that are happening against Black people and the police, right? So you have to think about what has been the hottest topic that take place on TikTok. What awareness is being raised through the real conversations that are happening through TikTok? And why would a government have an interest in suppressing that information? So I think those are the questions we need to be asking ourselves about this TikTok ban. I don't think it should be.
I think that's amazing. Like, can we look snaps for Patty? Always, she always drops the mic. It's hard to follow her. I want to go back to something Kalani said as well. When you're talking about the business aspect of it, what's more surprising to me is the fact that you're right. Facebook, I think, was the first to they had some sort of where our information got released or whatever, right? I think it was Facebook. But why are we focusing on the presidential election as opposed to the mental well-being of an entire country, right? How much does social media affect the way that we think about ourselves, the way that our children respond? I just saw a study and I did it this morning. There was a neurosurgeon that posted on social media saying, when you wake up in the morning and the first thing that you do is look at social media, you have literally your dopamine has skyrocketed, and now it has created an addiction and an urge that you want to see it for the rest of the day. So even though you jump on social media, you should do this thing of affirming yourself in the morning, listening to other things, and then easing your way into something. But it's so crazy to me that we're only concerned about politics and the presidential election and not the well-being, the mental well-being of a society that all of us have to cohabitate in together. That is what's killing me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's like, okay, hey, the government's excuses, it's Homeland Security. We need to protect us from them. It's like, dude, we need to be protected from you. At this point, the same conversation could be had about gun control, right? Or any big or hot topic item that is highly controversial, right? I mean, I agree. We could
Yeah.
talk about this for a long time.
Yes.
Just
That's
put
a
it
good
that way.
point. Think about the mental health, the aspect of things, and also just remember that when you're asking for help from the government, when you're asking for help from the government in any capacity, you're giving up one level of freedom. So we don't want the censorship and we don't want the limitation on the freedom of speech. You guys have to remember that when you're consuming the data and the information in regards to social media.
That's good.
Mhm.
So
That is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make that a quote. Tweetable.
All of
Turn
hers.
that-
Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. This is her. This is her lane. Now, I think I do have one more take on this TikTok situation, which is the fact that Lady Jade, I saw you make a TikTok about this because I know you don't make a lot of TikToks. I don't either. But you made a TikTok about the TikTok shop, and I can't get up and go get it, but I meant to bring it
Oh, no,
here.
let me go get some stuff. Hold on. Just
I got stuff too. I am weak. Listen, the e-commerce portion of TikTok is out of this world. Have
It's
y'all bought
insane.
something from the TikTok shop yet?
I definitely have, it bothers me. It annoys me because I feel like the whole TikTok, my whole TikTok feed has turned into the TikTok shop. Stop, Jay.
let me
You are.
let y'all know. Y'all, this is freaking ridiculous. I have bought. I don't even cook. Patty, I gotta give you this. This is it was only 99 cents. It's some sort of onion chopper or something. This is crazy, y'all.
It's
I
like
have bought
Tina,
a rotator for my phone. I have a lint remover. Who is gonna be shaving lint off of my clothes? But this is the one. Did y'all see this one? This.
You got the massager?
It's
Girl.
the worst crap ever. Don't buy this, girl. This is a lot. They tricked me. I paid $19.99. The people were on there going, "Oh, this is the best feeling." It feels like when you go get your nails done. You know how that thing digs in your shoulders and it hurts if you're not sitting right. This
Yes.
is. Don't do it, y'all.
Ridiculous.
They got me. I have the slime, the snail slime stuff. I got all of it. Yeah. Mhm.
You got a
No,
shopping
you
problem,
the
Lady
one. You the
J?
one keeping the TikTok shop alive. Huh?
Look, I need to talk to Nasima about how to get my finances together because clearly, but I got like 100 items and it was only like $60. In all honesty,
Well, you know what? That's not bad. I can't hate on that.
That TikTok shop is what turned me off from TikTok because I really enjoyed
That 100%. Me
No, for real.
too. That's when I stopped watching TikTok because every other thing that was coming up for me was the TikTok shop, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What is this? Is this now a retail place?" Like, I don't.
Yeah,
And think
I
about
tried
that.
to ignore it. I did. Go ahead, Patty.
I was saying, think about that as a business person who is on social media. Like I think Latoya mentioned in the comments, and hi, I can see the comments. I just can't type back. So I see you, Amir. Thank you. So I think Latoya mentioned that she does business and it's going to impact her revenue as a result of this ban, right? And I think you do have to kind of think about it. I think we all went from, I said this on Twitter a long time ago. I don't like that in every space we exist, we have to figure out how to monetize it. And I think that you just think about as a consumer, you're scrolling and we all have something very valuable to give. And here we are creating a show that we want people to engage with, right? But the point is at every juncture that we exist as humans, why are we looking to monetize it, right? And that turns people off. And I think that within itself is a great lesson to any entrepreneur that's listening.